TikTok, it's time to rock. Welcome to the channel, folks. Welcome to an extra special show. 2 days in a row, you get to hang out with myself, the Rock Professor, and John ZD351, who were here with us yesterday. And can you believe it, Simon? Over 200 people watched yesterday's show.
Really? I haven't checked. Normally I check. I haven't looked at that at all. Fantastic.
221 people.
230, yeah, 230 people. Well, thanks to everyone who watched. Well done. Deserve prizes, all of you.
We'll get 7 for this.
We'll be sending them out any minute now.
People feeling sorry for us, but our good friend Derek Clacton wrote an interesting comment. He said, what is it? The 3 musketeers hanging out with the 3 wise men. And he said, you guys work out who the fuck's who. I'm glad he didn't say the 3 amigos. Maybe we could do the 3 amigos. Yeah. But we had a good bit of fun. I was talking to John before you popped on, Simon. You know, I was thinking about the comment that Jim made about death notices being included in future repackaging box sets. So I thought that, that was a good, funny, interesting, but probably potential thing.
Marketing, death certificate included.
Look, a little bit of fun, guys. We always appreciate that, and the fact that you guys want to jump on today and hang out, talking about a Christmas-themed subject again is pretty interesting. I was having a conversation with Carl a couple of weeks ago. He's not joining us today, unfortunately. He's got some family event to go to because it's 7:30, 8 p.m. here. But Carl is a film critic, loves films, loves movies, and we talk about that thing often when we get together. And we were talking about Christmas films, and another friend of mine was talking about Christmas films, and we thought, there's some pretty good ones out there, John. Besides the usual rubbish and dribble that you get associated with any subject, there's a couple of good ones, surely, John. Have you got a couple of good ones?
To tell you the truth, I thought to myself, how did I get myself roped into this again? As I said yesterday, I'm sort of not a Christmas guy, and I'll tend to avoid that stuff like the plague. And going back to a previous comment, this sort of stuff, when you want to really get possibly a true answer, don't think about it too much and see what pops into your mind. And so, funny thing enough, the one Christmas film that did pop into my mind first off, and there's a couple of obvious ones, which I know of because they're so well known in popular culture, but I haven't actually seen. But one that I do remember that I haven't seen for God knows how many years was the original 1947 version of Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
And that's basically the story of a guy who becomes a department store Santa, but goes around telling people that he is actually the real Santa. And it ends up being a thing where he gets, pulled out for a mental health assessment, as it would be referred to these days. And they were going to commit him to a facility. because, who goes around saying that they're the real Santa? And it's a great, like I said, I haven't seen it for how many years?
Sure.
I'd have to be possibly going back to childhood, if not at the latest my early to mid 20s that I saw it. But that's one that stayed with me, and it was a Christmas film. Like I could have, like there's always been the famous one that everybody argues about is Die Hard. Is it or isn't it a Christmas film? Or is it just a film set around Christmas time? Or is that enough? That fact alone enough to make it a Christmas film?
Yes.
And same could be said of Batman Returns.
Yes.
Tim Burton, like he's got a whole thing with Christmas. Edward Scissorhands also a Christmas film, but not really. So again, I kind of thought, well, would I choose a film like that? Batman Returns not necessarily my favorite Batman film, though Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. I need a moment alone with my thoughts there. But yeah, so that was the film that really popped into my mind first, and really is a Christmas film. So that was the one that I decided was going to be my pick for my favorite Christmas film, because if anything, I enjoyed it as a Christmas film, and I thought it had a bit of sentimentality without being schmaltzy about it. And again, a thing of its time. It was remade, I believe, in the 70s and then again in the 90s.
Yeah.
But that and the 70s one was filled with like all these character actors that I love from the period. But the original,
was that Richard Attenborough? Was he in
yes.
that one?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Richard
okay.
Attenborough in the remake. I just feel there's just some sort of like a real charm about the old, and it was colorized, but I remember it as a black and white film.
Fantastic.
Let's do Christmas for real and go with the real Santa.
Well, that's a good choice, and obviously we've got some comments in the chat. Bad Santa's Johnny Heartbreaker's pick. Simon, have you got a couple of Christmas?
I've got a couple of nominations to. I think I'm a bit like John. There's many a Christmas film that could pass me by, no problems at all.
Sure.
But my first pick is I think an absolute classic, really, and it's A Wonderful Life,
Yes.
which is a really good film, starring James Stewart, and about a man who's contemplating suicide on Christmas Eve and stuff. But brought around, so I think it's a to me really good movie, really positive, uplifting movie. Again, without this sort of too much sentimentality about it. It's got some tough bits in it, I think, and I think that drags it away from that. But to me, it is one of the great Christmas films. And as I say, I, like John, have run away from a lot of stuff, though. To me, it's a classic. The feel-good story of the year.
And one that often tops this sort of a list when people
put these sure together.
And again, that's one of the ones that I said obviously a great pop culture icon of a film that I've never seen. It's that much of a pop culture icon that I know of it. I pretty much know the story about it. I've seen clips of it, but I've never sat down and watched the movie, so I really couldn't feel that I could in good conscience call that my favorite. But definitely I'm sure it would have made my list if I had actually sat and watched it.
Here in New Zealand on Sunday afternoon, about 1 o'clock, because we only had one channel in New Zealand for a long, long time, one TV channel. So on Sunday in the afternoon, you would get these old movies, and so if I went to my nana's place, I stayed with my nana, we went to church and came back and had lunch, and we would watch, inevitably an old movie, black and white movie. And I remember watching that probably when I was about 10 years old. And my nana telling me, John, that it's a great film because there's a story behind it. So because it was of her era, Simon. So she knew it. So I think you guys have picked well. And obviously we're going to throw some other titles around too that we've seen. I have to agree with you though, John. I think any film that has, the Christmas time in it, or Christmas carols, or Christmas trees, or something like that, in my opinion, is a Christmassy kind of film. I think Die Hard is one of the greatest films ever, guys. And again, you got to remember, I'm a child of the 1980s, and that film came out, Simon, I think in 86 or something like that, 86 or 87. And I remember a good friend of mine saying, I went to the movies last night and saw this film called Die Hard. And I said, oh, okay. And he said, it stars Bruce Willis. And we knew who Bruce Willis was because he was the star. He just, had how many shows with Moonlighting with, and that was a Sybil Shepherd. It was an incredible TV series. So we knew we knew who the guy was. So we went along to the movie, that night, and it was the second time he had seen it, and we watched this film. I was blown away by it, and I've watched it probably like you guys many times, because it's put on TV, and I love it. And there's some great comedy there from Bruce Willis, some great acting, good villain, nasty villains, John.
The late great Alan Rickman.
Oh my lord. Yeah, what a great villain. But and there's Christmas songs. Yesterday we were talking about Christmas songs. You check out the soundtrack of that. There's a lot of Christmas songs on that film. So for me, John and Brad, there's no debate there. It's a Christmas film.
No, fair enough.
The next pick I've got might be contentious for you guys. Whoa.
How dare you?
Yes. Well, I'm going to put it down as a Christmas film. Eyes Wide Shut. And I've been.
Oh, Nicole Kidman and Stanley Kubrick. Yeah.
Yes.
Was there a Christmas tree in the background? I wasn't looking.
There's a few. And it's filmed at Christmas time, and there's a reason why. And I urge people, if they haven't seen Eyes Wide Shut, to go and watch it, because it's an interesting film. It's not a film that a lot of people liked, but it's a film that tells you, if you want to investigate things, a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes with elites and what they do and what they get up to. Interesting story, as I say, jammed in a short time frame period at Christmas time with Christmas trees, which is always interesting from a filmmaker's perspective, because what happens at Christmas time, Simon? It's a happy time.
It's a Christmas time.
Yes. It's a family time. And what's going on. So I have to stick up with my first point. If I said that Die Hard is a Christmas film, well, this one here has to be a Christmas film, because there's a couple of Christmas trees. But check it out. Trading Places, Johnny Heartbreaker. Yeah. That's another good film.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true, Johnny. Yeah, absolutely.
You got any more on your list there, John?
Who's a moron?
Who'd
you call a moron?
Who?
I don't know. You said it. Actually, I saw a meme. Apparently, in First Blood, in one of the scenes in the police station, there's a Christmas tree in the background. So they've decided that's a Christmas film too.
Really?
I think it's flashes up for a second or whatever.
Really?
Well, there you go. So this is what I mean. So it probably only shows up in 2 seconds of the film, and that's the only Christmas reference in it. But
gosh, I've watched that film a million times. I can honestly say I've never seen it.
It was just a still shot. It was just a still shot, and it was right in the background. Well, the next one I'd put up as one that I really did enjoy, and it is a Christmas film. The third film in the National Lampoon's Vacation series, the Christmas Vacation. What an absolute laugh that film was with Chevy Chase covering his house in lights, and his brother-in-law Randy Quaid pumping out the shitter.
Yeah.
As just a brilliant film, just totally farcical. Poor guy's going nuts at Christmas time, trying to have the Christmas that he thinks he's have to do. So that's always one that's always I got a laugh out of, and it's seen a couple of times.
Simon, you got anything
my second
else
one,
on your list?
Yes, I am. My second one is The Muppets Christmas Carol.
I haven't seen that. I've heard about it. Is it good?
Yeah, it's fabulous. Yeah. Because it pretty much sticks to the story, but it has the Muppets humor in it as well. With Michael Caine. It's fabulous. It's because A Christmas Carol is clearly a Victorian classic, and
I love it.
Darl's Chickens, and you see, and starring Michael Caine, and it's really well done, really well told. It's got lots of that Muppets humor in it to kind of.
So it's the Dickens Christmas story with the Muppets.
With the Muppets, yeah.
Ah. Michael Caine's Ebenezer Scrooge, and then the Muppets all the rest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out.
I'll check it out. It's well worth it. It's clearly it's a sort of it's definitely a family movie. There's the kids love it. But I also thought it was great as well. I don't think mainly because it sticks to the story, but it has the Muppet elements in it.
All the asides.
Keep the kids happy and keep me happy too. So if you haven't seen that, check it out because it's Johnny says it's hilarious. It's great fun and very funny.
Well, the next one I want to mention to you guys, and I deliberately avoided it for years because I'm not into these kind of films. But
we've noticed.
Friends are saying, "Look, have you seen this film? Have you seen this film?" I said, "No." They said, "You've got to see it. You've got to see it." And I saw it probably about 8 years ago, and it's Love Actually. And and very clever film. 8 or 10 different stories, around Christmas time. Waiting and for the international arrivals is an interesting scene. The 60s rocker, who plays Bill Nye, and everything is interconnected. Do try and watch it. I think it's a very
lovely.
It's a very clever film. And as I say, guys, for years I avoided it because I misinterpreted what I thought it was, John. I just thought it was one of those chick flicks kind of things, but it's not. Check it out. That's a Christmas film. Would the life of Brian count? Yes.
Starts out as a Christmas film, but ends up as an Easter one.
Yes. Yeah. The Life of Brian does count.
That's one of the great movies of all the time. Let's not go there because my brother and I were doing it last night. Over curry. You think you DM people's front? Fuck off.
Oh yeah.
There's no
You've
way.
got
More than Romans.
you've got us that English humor, and we get that.
Yeah.
Simon, we get it here in Australia and New Zealand because we were brought up clearly, obviously, on English comedy programs right through the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and 90s. I don't know anything about English comedy now. Nothing. I wouldn't have a clue. But jeepers, 20 years ago, we all knew, English comedy. We all knew what English comedy was, and so we get it. We get that kind of comedy. I don't know. Would Americans get The Life of Brian?
Some do.
Some do?
I think so. Yeah, I think some do. I think that what they don't get is, you see, that the Judean People's Front and the People's Front of Judea is a piss take of the Northern Ireland,
Yes,
thing where you had the UDA and the UDF and it's just and it's really a piss take of that as much as anything else, because that was around at the time. But I'm not sure they get that. But yeah.
Yeah. I reckon. I reckon that's a Christmas film. You got anything else, John?
Yeah, the other one I was thinking of, and probably relates well to how Christmas has evolved for me, because when you're a kid, Christmas is a time of magic and family and everything like that. And the day I used to look forward to the most was Boxing Day on the 26th, because everybody'd have their own like Christmas lunches and dinners and stuff like that. But then the whole extended family would get at my mum's sister's place on the 26th, and her back fence backed onto a park. So she had a property that had a big room downstairs. It had a full size billiard table, not a pool table, a billiard table. It was massive.
Wow.
And it had the wooden cover on top of it. Every square inch of it was covered with food. And then we'd all sit down and we'd all be eating and stuff like that. And then the young ones would go out the back and we'd be playing cricket out in the park. The oldies would be playing bingo on the bingo set. And it was just great. Everyone got together. And now, we're the old people now. All our, aunts and uncles and parents have passed on, and there's not that closeness between everyone as it used to be. Like, you'd see each other every 2-3 weeks. It'll be someone's birthday or an occasion or like that, and everybody used to be at someone's house. And now that doesn't happen anymore. And you grow up, and then also throughout the years, Christmas has become more of a commercialized commodity. And so you get cynical about all of that, But the one thing movie that I think juxtaposes those two sides perfectly is Elf with Will Ferrell. I was going to say Chad Smith, with Will Ferrell and
well done.
and the great and the great Sonny Corleone in it as well. And that was great because you got the modern sort of like commercial setting of Christmas, and in comes this being of pure innocence, and that movie could have so easily flicked over the line into being sort of like a schmaltzy type sort of by the numbers thing, but I think it was just a brilliant balance of those two worlds colliding. I'm forgetting all the actors' name. Bob Newhart played his role brilliantly in that as well, with his little deadpan sort of act that he does so well. And I just thought it was a brilliant film, and just like a thoroughly enjoyable film, like the type of thing that doesn't really have a big message behind it like some other films do or anything like that. But it was just a bit of fun, and it was brilliantly done. And it could have easily become something disposable and a crappy sort of like Hallmark type Christmas thing, but it didn't, and it was great. And even the sort of the story with him and his dad, just was played just right. It wasn't too heavy, and it wasn't throwaway. It was just great.
Yeah, Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times, and yeah, it's funny. It's a good film. It's well worth checking out.
And Ferrell can be polarizing for some people. Like there's some people that just don't get him or don't like him or choose not to.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think he's great.
I've got a bit of time for him. There's one film that I had a lot of hope for that came out a few years ago, starred a New Zealand actress in it. And, I remember my friends and I having a bit of a conversation and sort of thinking, well, this could be a good film. And I suppose on the face of it, when you go and have a look at it, it's a historical film. It's called The Nativity Story. It's about, the Virgin Mary and Saint Joseph, obviously after the birth of Christ, leaving Judea or Palestine for Israel, for Egypt. And it's a pretty good film. Didn't rate well, and I think that's one of the issues with some of these films that depict something that's from a historical perspective or trying to be realistic in its portrayal of the subject. If the actresses and the actors aren't clicking, doesn't matter. It's not going to work. And for me, it didn't work. And I checked the scores out, just recently, and it's 6.1 on Rotten Tomatoes. So it hasn't done well. But I think if people want to go and check something like that out, maybe to get so there's no bad Santas in that film. There's no elves. But yeah, it's a good attempt. It's a good attempt at something. So yeah, that's me being a little bit critical. That's my one critical film, guys.
Well, my third film has a bit more of that thing. Is The Grinch Who Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey.
It's an incredible film.
I think it's just great, and he's so brilliant as the cynical, cigarette smoking, grumpy Grinch.
Everybody knows a Grinch.
Yeah, absolutely. It becomes a verb, doesn't it? Grinching. Yes.
I think it's a great film.
So do I. It's
when did that come out?
It's made for by how brilliant Jim Carrey is, and that.
Yeah.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, 2000 or 2000.
Yeah, and that was a big film.
Money. Yeah,
that scored really, really well in the box office and in the ratings, if I remember rightly. But Jim Carrey, again, he's a little bit like Will Ferrell, isn't he? I know a lot of people can't stand him. I've had friends say to me, "Why does he pull all these faces all the time?" I said, "Because that's why he's so cool."
That's his thing. He is very impromptu, he's very improvisational, much like Robin Williams was. Sort of stuff that happens. You wind him up, let him go, and then you might have to figure out how to force some of that stuff into the movie after the fact. Apparently, the scene where he comes and he pulls the tablecloth off, and then he grabs, throws all the stuff off the table. The idea was to just like trash the table, and he didn't mean to just do the old pull the cloth out from under the plates trick, but it accidentally happened. He goes, "Oh shit, what am I going to do now?" So then he went back and destroyed it all like that, which probably was, 100 times funnier than just coming and dragging everything off the table in the first go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's his improvisation. That's him being the doing what an actor needs to do to capture.
Yeah, like the original thing was that he was supposed to grab the tablecloth and pull everything off the table, and it all just comes crashing down. But he's tugged it so hard that inertia worked against him, and everything else just sat there.
The classic trick.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Simon, I have to agree with you. I think it's a It's been a long time since I've seen that film. It's a great film.
Yeah, it's great film. And as I say, for me, Jim Carrey is so good at doing that stuff, and interestingly, other people who were considered. Robin Williams was considered for the role of the Grinch.
He would have
Eddie
done.
Murphy, Adam Sandler. So quite a lot of people were considered for the role before Jim Carrey got it.
Robin would have been great.
Well, yes, he would have been. Yes. I got to admit, I can't think of anything that Robin would have been great at. From his original start as a crazy impromptu comedian doing Mork and Mindy, and then all these famous comedy films. But then when he started to take that dramatic turn with stuff like Dead Poets Society and 1 Hour Photo and World According to Garp, he was just so brilliant, and he was one of my favourites right from the start of his career. I grew up with him. I think he's brilliant.
John, can I interrupt you? I have to tell you that Dead Poets Society is one of my favourite films.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I think all the actors in that film are incredible. When you consider half those guys were young guys, Ethan Hawke, and then you've got and then Robin is just so believable as the master and unleashing these young guys. And these young guys sneak off into a cave, Simon, and they read poetry, and it's like what we do with lyrics. It's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great film. If you haven't seen Dead Poets, boy. Oh.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic film.
Yeah, if you want to throw a show off topic, mention Robin Williams. I'll talk about it for hours.
Robin Williams is never off topic, John.
And Photoshop is good too. Spooky.
Yeah.
Boy, he pulled that off, a spooky character. Man, I couldn't believe I was watching Robin Williams.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that's why I don't know, as I say, because I think I love Dr. Seuss. I've read my kids, Dr. Seuss, Dr. Seuss, I think really pronounced correctly, but read my kids all of those books, Green Eggs and Ham, and all that, all those brilliant rhymes, and the fact the whole thing rhymes, that really appealed to me, So still got
Simon,
them up there somewhere.
In New Zealand, in primary school, we would have a library area, and when it was library time, and there were always about 3 or 4 Dr. Seuss books, and there was always a line to run to it. You had to tackle people, John. You were doing block tackles. You were pushing to grab the Dr. Seuss book. because it was so funny, and you were trying to work out the words of what he was saying, and the artwork, just incredible stuff. Are they still publishing them?
Yes.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, you can get them from wherever good books are sold still.
You would have had them in primary school in Aussie, John.
Oh, yeah, it's a classic that'll never go away. And look at this, it's timeless. It's stuff from another time that hasn't aged at all, because it's so universal and so simplistic. And the drawing style is something of its own. It doesn't really look like it was done in the 50s or the 80s or the 90s or 2 years ago.
When was it done? In the 50s?
I have no idea, man. But they were already all around when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, I was at primary school in the early 70s, so must have been certainly in the 60s.
I know he started in the sort of before the war.
Oh wow!
He wrote some stuff, but his famous stuff is from the 50s. If I ran the zoo, when Horton hears a who, the cat in 57. The Grinch Stole Christmas is 57. green eggs and ham is 60.
60.
One fish,
There you
two
go.
fish, red fish, blue fish is 60. So you can see,
Wow.
yeah, 50s.
Okay.
It's sort of purple patch.
So
Yeah.
so it was established educational material for a long time.
Yeah, it was already
Yeah,
classic
yeah.
by the time any of us found it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Griffin, here's the who.
And
Oh, my
I'll say
Lord.
one thing too on having Jim Carrey over Robin Williams. I think that amazing job of having him actually look exactly like the drawing. Much better than a job than what they did with Mike Myers as the Cat in the Hat. Obviously, drawn in that real skinny style. I think Carrey suited that much better. He's sort of like tall, lanky frame.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. So he was also in a Batman film, wasn't he? He was the Riddler.
Correct. Yeah.
He was. Yeah.
And that was the one with Val Kilmer. Was that?
Forever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Still the okay
with
ones.
Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great comedy actor,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I understand why people wouldn't like it, but yeah, I think he's a great physical comedy actor, and therefore something like The Grinch really suits his style and what he does,
Yeah.
with the facial, but also the whole body thing as well. It's fantastic.
What about the? It's on Netflix. I haven't seen it, but I saw it advertised. The Christmas Carol that came out in 2018, and it stars the Australian actor. Apparently, that's got some good reviews.
Russell Crowe.
No, not Russell Crowe. John, you'll know the. Hold on, you'll know the actor. He was on Christmas. Carol 2018. I thought. Here we go. You'll know the guy. You'll know him. You'll know him.
Trying to find.
Oh gosh. Oh, I can't. Okay.
Stuart Brennan.
No. Hold on. Let me just go to bloody Netflix and
Well, he was in the 2018
Guy
Christmas
Pearce.
Carol film.
Guy Pearce. Yes, Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce.
Yes. Have you guys seen that?
No, but in just now trying to find out, because I actually wasn't aware that he'd done a version of it, but is a whole list of notable portrayals of Ebenezer Scrooge, and there's Albert Finney in 1970, Michael Caine in The Muppet Christmas, Jim Carrey in A Christmas Carol 2009, Christopher Plummer in The Man Who Invented Christmas 2017, Will Ferrell in Spirited. Television, it's been done by George C. Scott, Jack Palance, Patrick Stewart, Kelsey Grammer, and Guy Pearce.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kelsey Grammer. Wow.
Kelsey Grammer in A Christmas Carol from 2004. So obviously this story has been done, 1,000 times. But yeah.
Because apparently the one with Guy Pearce apparently is very good.
Okay.
So, yeah. Apparently he plays the character really well. So I hope one of you guys may have seen it to ask your opinion. Okay.
I knew that someone was going to bring up at least one version of it, and I always thought that A Wonderful Life is like the anti-Christmas Carol. It's sort of like the same sort of deal where it's trying to show someone, they've kind of got the wrong idea on life. But one of it was more obviously, It's a Wonderful Life. It was more to bring Jimmy Stewart's character out of his sort of funk in his situation, whereas
yes,
the other case with Ebenezer Scrooge is trying to soften him up from his hard character.
Yeah, Alistair Sim is still the benchmark, though. I agree.
Oh yeah.
oh yes, that was the.
So when
great
did
one by
he
Simon Callow as well.
when did that one come out? Alistair Sim. When did he
I
do?
just closed the window. That was one of the original ones.
Yeah, 1951. 51.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the originals. I think that was that would have been one of the original ones that I saw when I was a young guy. Terrified me a little bit, giving the guy, it's like who could be so mean?
I know. How could he be so mean? Lovely.
David Copperfield wrote that, didn't he, Simon?
Well, no, hang on. Charles
Dickens. Sorry. Charles Dickens. So when did he write that?
1870s, something like that.
1870.
First published in 1843.
Wow.
1843. Even further back than that. Well done, John.
Yep.
Scared to be Jesus out of Arvin too. What a great story, though. What a great story. I've never read it. Obviously I've seen film versions of it over the years, but what a story, Simon.
Oh yeah, it's a classic tale, which is why people keep remaking it, don't they? It's
been referenced in all sorts of TV shows as well. They've had their Christmas episodes based around it, and
almost every year.
So the Guy Pearce's one is a 3-part television series, so it's not a film.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Have you seen it, Johnny? Do you recommend it? But yeah, I agree with you, Arvin. It scared the bejesus out of me too. Yeah, certainly captured the essence of the miser very well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and if you're an actor, it's such a great part to play, isn't it? He's got a narrative arc, he's got a journey he goes on. For an actor, what could be better than that? It's very clearly laid out. Where he starts off and where he ends. It's fantastic.
Okay, now Johnny hasn't seen it, so okay, I'm gonna touch base because I rate Guy as a actor, and I've seen a few things that he's acted in. The Count of Monte Cristo, I just saw that recently, and boy, he acted really well. And boy, and he pulled that off too, being the nasty man. So something about Australian actors playing nasty actors.
Nasty man.
Speaking of Australians and Englishmen, have you seen the Ashes results, Simon?
What, we got destroyed again?
Yeah.
No, yeah, well, I know.
You guys are putting up a fight, though.
We needed 200 runs.
Yeah. You guys are putting the fight up.
Did they get close? I haven't seen a result.
No.
No, I didn't think so. I didn't think they would.
No. I think Simon's going to be 5-zip.
Yeah, so do I. Over, completely misread it all. They have the English cricket team misread the whole bloody 9 yards, and that'll learn them.
I've got a question for you, and sorry, John, I know you're not a cricket fan.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you, Simon. Is this the end of baseball?
I don't. Hopefully. Well, it's just one of those things. It's like sometimes it's appropriate, and sometimes it just isn't. And there are periods in all of these matches where it just hasn't been appropriate. You know, and if you're in any kind of intelligent sportsman, cricketer in this case, you know, if you can't read that actually this is where I go in, I stick around, you know, do the old Jeffrey Boycott stuff, you know, hit the bad ball for 4, but stick around, you know, for hours, make some runs, make the opposition think, make them, you know, it's just to me that doesn't sound that difficult, but then clearly you can't just go out in every situation start flailing with the bat. I mean, it just clearly doesn't work. Clearly hasn't worked. But you know, it's a bit like Ruben Amorim, isn't it? You know, the old Manchester United manager. You know, it's a hell high and water thing. I've no idea why people don't adapt and change to the circumstances they're doing. But
well, I think baseball works well with the English team when they're playing against when they're playing against the West Indies, when they're playing against Bangladesh, and when they're playing against New Zealand and Zimbabwe, because they've got an edge above those teams anyway. Because baseball's about developing a mental attitude as well, and it's about celebrating, you know, that daringness that you need sometimes in sport. And then when you get to play the Indians and the Australians, who are clearly very, very good, that's when that you can't go out there and be, what's the word, petulant when you're playing against the best opposition in the world. You have to go out there and be careful.
Yeah. You know, and a bit of more Graham Gooch, you know, Jeffrey Boycott, something like that. Somebody's going to get in, stick around, you know, make 100, but it's going to take him, you know, several days. That's exactly what it is. And none of them have really stepped up to that in any way, shape, or form, have they? You know, it's just that kind of the most annoying thing of this. It's my way or the highway, and it's a kind of blind, you know, tilting at windmills. It's like, don't do that. Just go in and play. You know, each ball on its merit, and if it's bad, you hit it to the boundary, and if it's good, you treat it with respect. You try not to get out, but you know, just to go and flail and everything. You know.
Well, talking about football, Tottenham will be looking for a new manager soon, because we got thrashed the game by Liverpool 2-1. So you know, Liverpool don't put up with unsuccessful managers. You know, they have no problem sacking them. They'll sack him, John. So this guy won't last. He'll be gone. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough sport. We're talking movies before we wind the show up.
You started it. You asked me.
Yeah. Bent's saying that his buddy used to live right across the street in Tottenham Stadium. Yeah. Oh, well, I love football. Love it. But not. This is where you got to stick by your team, though. And trust me, I know about sticking by losing teams. I've been a Manly supporter, a Tottenham Hotspur supporter, and none of those teams have had any and John, an Essendon supporter. You know, I can pick losers pretty well.
Yeah, I got a couple of Bomber supporter friends, and we're suffering.
Yeah, we're long suffering.
Oh dear.
So are there any? I've chucked in one movie already that I thought, you know, was meh. You know, and there was, you know, a bit of a budget chucked at it, and they thought that it was going to do well, you know. And that was the Nativity Story. I've picked that one. Do you have, Simon? Have you seen a Christmas film that you've seen and you think, nah?
The answer is I've probably seen quite a lot of them, but I can't remember them much. Well, because you know, every year there are. I mean, isn't there a Christmas? It's like a Christmas movie channel, isn't there?
Really?
Sorry. Isn't there right? And they start in kind of November or something, and start. You know, that should be stopped.
Must be only in the UK, because No, we don't have a Christmas only movie channel in New Zealand. Trust me.
You would have avoided it if you'd known.
Yeah.
But so nothing particularly comes to mind. But it's as I say, I'm a bit with John. I don't desperately go out of my way to watch lots of Christmas movies.
Sure.
Especially at Christmas.
I'm not watching a lot of movies at all at the moment.
No, yeah, that's true. Oh, I've been to see 2 movies this year, so on behalf of the channel, not a Christmas movie, but it's
yeah, I'm a little bit like you guys too. I don't go out of my way to see a Christmas movie. I don't think I actually. Well, I lie. I went to see the Nativity Story. That was probably one Christmas story that I went to go and see with some hope. But yeah, generally speaking, I don't either. And I had to be pushed by good friends of mine to go and watch Love Actually, a few years ago. So, but I will though, John, if and I've watched it lots of times over the years. If Die Hard's going to be on a Saturday night and I'm not doing anything and it's 7:30, if it's on tonight after the show and there's nothing on, I'll watch it.
I'm wondering if I just saw it once back in the day and I can hardly remember, or if I haven't watched it but I've just seen bits and pieces of it. Nola, I'm pretty sure I've watched it. I know because I know the story. I know I've seen it, but I haven't seen it for a very, very, very long time. And
you have to go and watch it this. You have to watch it this Christmas.
It's one of those things, man. I've got a list like this of stuff I should watch. I've got DVDs and Blu-rays that I bought 20 years ago that I haven't watched yet.
That I haven't watched.
Yeah, John, I've got a DVD of complete DVD selection of The Wire, still sealed.
Yeah. Man, I remember when like the Blu-rays were still sort of like a relatively new thing. JB Hi-Fi had a thing that if you bought a Blu-ray player, they would give you 30 discs or sets. Like I got like the 6 Rocky films all in one thing, counted as one. So I got this massive stack of Blu-rays. Like, God, it was still in Sydney, I think. It would have been around about 2010, 15 years ago, like that. I got the a whole bunch of stuff, and I've lucky if I've gone through half of them.
I forgot about this one too. Johnny's got Home Alone 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Home Alone. Yeah.
I have seen Home Alone 1. I can't recall seeing Home Alone 2. But Home Alone, very funny. Macaulay Culkin?
Culkin, yeah. Macaulay
Culkin. Yeah. Very funny.
Pesci,
very
Daniel
funny
Stern
film.
as the 2 bad guys.
Yeah. The bad guys are, my God, they make the film. That's funny.
So, Andrew, the Christmas TV channel is on now. You can watch. It runs from like September. And they just show nothing but Christmas films.
Oh, jeez.
Over here.
Oh. So, is that what the prisons play on their TV?
It could
screen?
be, yeah. Well, it could easily be.
Is that what they show in those immigration hostels for all those people that are coming across the channel? You have to sit and watch. You have to watch the Christmas channel.
Bastard. Yeah. Starting September, and they just have them on a loop all the way through to Christmas. Can you imagine?
What's Home Alone 2 like? I can't recall. Have you guys seen Home Alone 2?
It's like Home Alone 1, only different.
Oh, okay.
You think you forget your kid home once, you'd never do it again. I locked myself out of my apartment once. Now I can't leave the house without looking at my keys in my hand before I close the door. How do you leave your kid? And there's apparently a third one or something as well.
Really?
Yes.
A remake?
Yeah.
It can't be with Macaulay. Is it with Macaulay?
I think they're doing it on purpose. I don't think they like this kid.
No, I mean, as
You're
you know,
shitting
as
me.
has been pointed out, it's like you'd phone up a relative and say, "Go around and pick up their kid," wouldn't you? It's like
Yeah,
because even in when it's set, was it early 90s, 91 or something? Is it? They still had phones. They might not have been mobile phones, but they still had phones.
Still had phones.
Yeah,
Oh,
still
Trump
go
is in
around
the
and pick
movie.
them up.
Trump's in Home Alone 2.
Oh,
I have to watch
yeah.
it then. I have to watch it. For 4
You don't.
seconds. Blink or you'll miss. Okay, I'm going to put that on my list too. Eventually to watch Home Alone 2. Because I can't recall ever seeing that. But I remember pissing my pants watching Home Alone 1. Yeah, it was funny.
The thing about where the sequels are, I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, well,
And
there is a Home Alone 3, Andrew, so you can.
Really?
Yes. Hold on a sec.
Wow.
I'll get some deets about it. You could decide whether Home Alone 3, 1997, starring Alex D. Linz and Havalind Morris. I don't know who they are, but so you're not quite. So yes. So yes, you've got Home Alone 3, which doesn't have any of the original cast in it at all. I don't think, by the look of it.
What did Macaulay go on and do after that? Nothing.
Did My Girl?
Yeah, not a huge amount, really. I mean, I think he's done some stuff recently, but he's
My Girl, was that after that, or it was around that same time, John? I think you're right. Yeah, My Girl.
Probably.
Yeah.
Let's click his link.
Click him up, John. What does it say?
Where's his freaking filmography?
He hasn't got one. He's just sitting on the large pile of gold he made from Home Alone 1.
Career, early work. This doesn't have a list of
Little Rich pile of gold.
Yeah.
Did he do that as well?
Yeah, Richie Rich. Yep.
Yes, Richie Rich.
Richie Rich, yeah.
He's in Uncle Buck with John Candy.
Oh, wow.
The Good Son, The Nutcracker, all these films that I don't really know.
Uncle Buck, that was funny.
That's it, really. Yeah, to tell you the truth, he's probably dined out on that film because there's not too much else that sort of like really sticks out to me.
When did My Girl come out, John?
New York. Sorry?
When did My Girl come out?
My Girl was 1991, so Home Alone was 90. So in 1990, he did Jacob's Ladder and Home Alone. 91, he did Only the Lonely and My Girl. And then
My Girl's a good film.
Was Home Alone 2. And then The Good Son. That was supposed to be a good film, I think. The Good Son and the Nutcracker in 93. Richie Rich is 94. Yeah, and then he's done a bunch of TV work as well.
Yeah. But he's in Home Alone 2. So basically, Home Alone 2 is him with new what they call Tim Curry. The great Tim Curry's in it. Joe Pesci. Yep. So Brenda Fricker, Catherine O'Hara.
Speaking of Tim Curry, I was flicking the other night and guess what was on the television?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah. And I'd missed the first 20 minutes and I watched it and had probably at least 10 years since I've seen it. What a film.
Yeah, what a very well known.
Oh. Yeah. You got to check that out. Written by a Kiwi, a guy from my hometown.
There we are. Oh, we'll check it out. But Rocky Horror Picture Show is was it Richard O'Brien, isn't it? He wrote it.
Yes. Yeah. From Hamilton. hairdresser here in Hamilton. The Embassy Theatre. I'll make a point of doing a road trip for you guys. So in the main street, we had 3 movie theatres, and the furthest one heading south was one called the Embassy, and that's where Richard O'Brien used to go and watch the late movies on a Friday and a Saturday night, because they would play 3 or 4 movies. So that's where he got the idea from. And anyway, they bowled the theatre 20 or 30 years ago, probably 30 years ago, and they built a statue of Riff Raff outside the Embassy Theatre as a tribute to Richard O'Brien and, the Embassy Theatre, which gave him the idea of, the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
So Hamilton is famous.
Yeah. Still alive, Richard O'Brien, 83. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw him around 2010, I think. He was the narrator at the local operatic society. They did Oliver. They did the Oliver production, and boy, one of the best productions I've ever seen. And he was the narrator of it, and people thought he was incredible. After the show, he had about 50 people just all around him, wanted to hang out, be with him, because he was famous.
Famous. Yeah, he's been appeared in a lot of films, but yeah, amazing bloke. But yes, that, of course, also the film with Tim Curry in it, also starring old Meatloaf himself.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, incredible.
First Richard O'Brien, and then
Susan Sarandon. That was one of her first major parts as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you watch that film, and understand it, it's miles ahead of its time.
Absolutely,
right,
yeah.
All right, boys.
But,
we're gonna go.
Yes, we've got dogs to walk. Where is where is that? Where is our channel dog?
Outside. I can hear her outside.
Waiting.
Tim Curry did the play on stage for a while. His was the first film.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. So I'm not an expert on Rocky Horror. So that's correct. It was a play first. Correct.
Yeah, it was a musical play. Yeah.
Yes.
And then it was a film. As I say, included having Meatloaf in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Meat.
Yeah, and he's not that big in it. Actually, he got bigger, didn't he? After that, he was, he's, big fella though. But
he stuck to his name to the last.
Well, Bat Out of Hell was after that, wasn't it? Because
yes, yeah. Bat Out of Hell 77.
I think it's 77.
Marvelous.
Great album.
Yeah, recorded 75, 76 and released October 77. So yeah, sort of like 2 years after the movie.
Great album. That album has cult status here in New Zealand. Bat Out of Hell. Does it have cult status in Australia and the UK?
I would say so. I mean, it was one of those things where it's sort of like it's so good, it's ubiquitous, and then becomes sort of too good to be relevant and too good to be to have street cred, and then it's so good that it transcends not having street cred into being thought of as brilliantly as well at the same time. So it's run the gamut. It's gone through all stages of evolution that it possibly can. and it's as highly revered and highly jeered as anything can be.
I remember it for one reason in particular. It was one of the very few albums that you could put on at a party and play both sides.
Yeah,
right through. One of the very few
not a bum
films.
track on it, and for all of what happened throughout the years, his vocal performance on this album is absolutely faultless.
Oh, the production was incredible. Who was the producer?
Jim Steinman.
Jim Steinman.
Yes.
No. Todd Rundgren.
Oh, sorry,
Todd Rundgren.
Rundgren.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why it sounds so good. Yes.
And
great Todd Rundgren.
Much like the story of the Black Crowes with Hard to Handle, the lead guitar solo on the title track, Todd just like plugged in and winged it and got that the motorbike noises and then the incredible solo, which is I've got to go listen to that now.
Yeah. It's a great. One of the very few albums that I can remember growing up. In that 10-year period where you went to a party and if someone had the cassette or the album that it was played through, because, often you would put an album on and someone would drop the needle on side 3 of a triple album, whatever, to the 4th song and then pull out the album and throw it all over, and you're watching all your albums getting all chucked around the place.
Pretty much any song off that album could be released as a single, and most of them were, I think. But
4 singles off that album?
5.
4?
5
singles.
5,
but it's got Bat Out of Hell with in brackets Oz, like it was only released as a single in Australia, and All Revved Up with No Place to Go, released October 78 in the UK. But definitely, you took the words 2 out of 3 ain't bad, and Paradise were released. And again, Paradise is a long song for a single, but yeah, most of this album's all over the radio. Not a bum track on it.
Nah.
I think Heaven Can Wait is a sorely underrated track off that album. Such a beautiful song.
John, I totally agree with you. That is definitely one of the deep cuts on that album. Totally agree with you. Always loved that track. Yeah.
So what just look at the Wikipedia thing. What I love is and I think clearly Bat Out of Hell is also compared to the music of Bruce Springsteen around that time. So Born to Run.
We had Max and Roy playing on it.
Yeah, Max. And got Max Roy playing. Steinman says he finds that puzzling musically. It's like, oh well, if you can't see it, Jim. Oh well, the rest of us are right all about it.
It's one of those things where the risk of going off topic again, or still, Steinman really came from a show tunes background and a musical theatre background. So to do that in a rock setting, but it wasn't really a rock. It wasn't really sort of like executed in a rock and roll style, but it was rock and roll adjacent. And I think the people that worked at it between him and Meat singing and Todd producing just come up with a lightning in a bottle. And they there's been some great stuff that they did later on, but I don't think anything ever matched up to it. It was just the perfect storm.
So correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on this album, but did I read somewhere or hear somewhere that the record companies weren't particularly interested in it because they wanted they wanted a punk rock, because punk rock was the big thing, and they thought this kind of music was out.
Pretty much, and I can't remember. I didn't really go into the story as to whether it was a sleeper or not, or whether it was a hit straight away. But they definitely did have a fight on their hands to get it done.
Hit straight away.
Here, response to the album was slow. It was under promoted, having a reputation being damaged goods because it had been walked around so many places. Yeah, the project itself was sort of like kind of like Rocky and Star Wars, where every studio passed on it before someone made it and it became a hit. And then you've got the sort of thing where you got it's only 7 tracks, sort of kind of long songs on it. You got 2 4.5-minute songs, and then everything else is longer. And Bat Out of Hell's 9:48. Paradise is 8.5 minutes long as well. So
how many companies turned it down, John? How many record companies turned it down? Have you got that info?
I've got it in here. If you think a good video is some schmendrick reading a Wikipedia page, but just like I said, I just read that thing. It was thought of as being damaged goods, but there were lots of things. I remember then people didn't like the cover. I remember people were saying that Meatloaf wasn't a marketable physically, appearance-wise, wasn't a marketable person. And there was a whole lot of stuff of it being a sort of bit grandiose and bombastic in its production. But there's the recording started 75. There's a bit of when Rundgren discovered that the deal with RCA did not actually exist, so there was a kind of a few different things happening on here.
So it's one of those classic albums that the fans listened, liked, and bought, and that generated momentum. It wasn't the fact that it was pushed or marketed by a record company, Simon. It was a fan's album.
But like all of these records, it says in Wikipedia the response to the album was slow, and Todd Rundgren said it was under-promoted.
Yeah.
But due to the enthusiastic response to the music videos from the record, Australian and British audiences were the first to develop an interest. I can remember seeing it. They had it on the Old Grey Whistle test. And then they had to do it the following week because the response was so overwhelming. They screened it again.
Wow.
And, it's kind of, and they later went on to think. But, it's not until they started, the company started getting behind it. And I think that's off the back of the enthusiastic response to the UK and in Australia.
And the beauty of it is, I think, too, that Australia, we had things like Countdown and Sounds Unlimited and shows like that predated MTV. You guys had the Old Grey Whistle test and Top of the Pops. Andrew, I don't know, around about the 70s and 80s, what music videos.
Ready to roll.
See, because also the thing too is that in those days where a lot of rock and roll came out of the States, and with acts that weren't able to tour on our side of the world, they would send the videos. And this is before we were sort of like already attuned to the concept of the music video. We used to call them film clips before MTV started and it took America by storm. So we're already used to the idea of a music show with a weekly top 10 sales chart at the end of it, and people coming in and doing guest spots and studio performances and that. So
isn't it interesting that Australia gave obviously Meatloaf a push because of its support locally, internationally. But Australia also gave Neil Diamond a push internationally because Neil Diamond was huge in Aussie, and ABBA as well.
John
ABBA
Mellencamp with on Lover.
Yes,
the hit here before the States.
Yeah.
So and again, a lot of that is through 6:30 Saturday night. All the kiddies would be watching Countdown and seeing all the. Even we had the show Hey Hey It's Saturday, which was started off as a morning cartoon kids show and morphed into more skits and sketches and transferred to Saturday night and became a show where a lot of stuff, musically, and a lot of musical guests would come on and as well. And the guy that hosted Countdown here, Molly Meldrum, is sort of like was a very well-known music identity. Would do a music segment on that show and promote new releases and news of popular touring acts and stuff like that. So yeah,
hey Bob.
I think,
sorry, mate. I was just saying hi to Bob. And we also got Helene.
I think that sort of was the sort of like the second chance wild card for some acts that weren't making it, and then all of a sudden they get a bit of interest somewhere else, and it filters back to their home.
So do you think this goes back to record companies obviously taking Australia seriously as a market? If someone in Warner Brothers Music is on the phone from say Melbourne or wherever the head office is, saying, "Look, John Cougar Mellencamp is blowing the charts apart here. We've got to give it a push over in the States." Is that how it works? Do you think, or how
Possibly,
it worked?
there was I suppose there was enough sort of cultural crossover between our societies and theirs that if something makes it down here or makes it in England, that it might be worth a look, because the greatest song in the world's not going to catch on if nobody hears it. But if it's all about exposure,
Sure.
And if they don't get the chance to catch on initially, and you turf it, well then no one's going to hear it when you stop playing it after the second week.
Well, famously, Tom Petty, for example, he was just a band in the States, goes to the UK, Simon, and you guys embrace him, love him, actually recategorize him, from a rock and roll act to you guys label him as a new wave act, and then he goes back to America and nobody knows him. So, but that success in the UK though gave some seeds to him sprouting in the American market.
You ever heard of Jimi Hendrix?
Oh, yeah, same with Hendrix. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
game set match Australia,
Bat Out of Hell was #1 in Australia on the album chart in Australia.
Wow.
And the New Zealand charts. This is 77 to 82, so it was #1 there. Yeah. Right, so in the UK it was #9. In the US billboards, it was like 14. Canada was #5. So they didn't. Somebody's given us some. Oh, Helene, that's very sweet of you. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Helene. Yeah, I didn't know it was a #1 here. I knew it was huge. Because it had momentum here when I was listening to it in my teenage years. There were people in the 20s, older than me, were going nuts over this album. So we didn't discover it. It was the generation before us. And we just latched onto it because, as I said to you guys, it was just a great party album. It had the rock and roll stuff, and it also had the ballad stuff where you could slow waltz with the girl, Simon, which is really important.
Yeah, so it's 26 times platinum in Australia, and
really
17 times platinum in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just lost it. I was saying here something about how long it sat on the charts for.
Yeah.
Wow.
4th in the UK behind Rumours by Fleetwood Mac, Floyd's Dark Side, and Oasis What's the Story. It was on the UK album charts for 522 weeks.
They are. You know,
like
and
10 years.
just
10 years on the,
quite
10 years on the charts.
26 times platinum in Australia is 1,800,000 copies sold. Don't know what the so in New Zealand, 17 times platinum, Andrew, is 255,000.
You know, and our population back then would have been 2.8 million. So that's a shitload of albums, Simon.
So that's 10% of the population.
Yes.
Whereas the US, 14 times platinum. So platinum is 1 million records. So it sold 14 million records in the US.
Wow.
But you know, against 250 million, population, it's kind of it's not 10% of it; it's more like 5% of it. So,
well, it's definitely one of my favorite Christmas albums.
Yeah. So are we going to put that on the list, the rank? Simon, have you got that? Have you got that on the list for us?
What, Bat Out of Hell? Well, it could be on the list now.
Yeah.
Everything's on the list. It's only a question of somebody picking it.
Put it on the list, and we'll make sure John jumps on when we do that track, do that album.
Right.
Thank you, Helene. It means
John.
a lot. Thank you for helping the channel.
You see, John, once you've been on, there's no escape.
What did the Eagles say? Check out any time you like, but you can never leave.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We are the Hotel California of YouTube shows.
I do though remember reading somewhere though that one of the reasons why that album stood the test of time from a music point of view was the production point of view. Yeah. So if Todd, well, it's not if. The fact that Todd was involved in producing it, John, and he was a musician, he clearly knew what he was doing. You know, he was considered by a lot of his peers at the time a genius, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And but like, there's also apparently, I'm just reading here now. There's a lot of to and froing about different mixes and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, Rugden initially mixed the record in one night. However, some of the mixes were unsuitable to the extent Meatloaf did not want Paradise on the album. Jimmy Iovine, who had mixed Springsteen's Born to Run, remixed 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad. And after several attempts by several people, John Jansen mixed the version of Paradise that is on the album along with All Revved Up and No Place to Go.
So Jimmy Iovine did a mix.
Did a mix for 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad.
Really? Oh, yeah. I wonder if that's anywhere to listen to.
No, that was what was on the album.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So like the original mix was done by Todd Rundgren in one night for the whole album, but there was there was toing and froing amongst the people involved as to whether they were happy with that, and there was
Oh, okay, okay. So
it wasn't just a straight out make it in a couple of weeks type of album. There was a lot of work went into it to get it right. And
okay. I wasn't aware of that. I thought Todd did the whole thing.
Wikipedia now.
I thought he did the whole thing. So how many songs did Todd do then?
Well, I suppose he did all of them, and then a couple of them got remixed by these other guys as well. So there must be
Todd's remixes available somewhere, probably on Spotify, of Todd's remix of the whole album, probably as a
they've ever done sort of like an expanded edition or anything like that of it. They have here. I think there was actually something about CD reissue bonus tracks. Had the Bolero live intro, Bat Out of Hell live version, and a Dead Ringer for Love, which ended up being on the subsequent album.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So obviously the record company got Jimmy involved then. Clearly, because Jimmy was a big deal back then, wasn't he? So if Jimmy got involved,
he just come off doing Born to Run.
Yes.
And another East Street, because again, as we mentioned, Roy Bitton on piano and Max Weinberg on drums from the East Street Band played on Bat Out of Hell. And what's this got here? This is talking about the production. So Mo Austin from Warner Brothers was impressed, but other senior people rejected them after they performed live. And Steinman offered them a few years earlier auditioning with a song called Who Needs the Young, which had a lyric which I won't quote there.
Sure.
Another E Street member, Stephen Van Zandt, and Sonnenberg arranged to contact Cleveland International Records, which was a subsidiary of Epic Records. And after listening to the spoken word intro to You Took the Words Right Out of My Mouth, founder Steve Popovich accepted the album for Cleveland. So that's how it got onto Epic. Yeah. So according to Meatloaf, Jansen, and Steinman mixed the title track. So after several attempts for several people, John Jansen mixed the version of Paradise as well. So half of it was handled by other people over and above what Todd did.
Just a quick question, guys, before we end the show, and we've got to end the show quickly. And I think it's completely off topic, but it's related to everything that we talk about on the show.
Can we go off topic? I didn't know we could go off topic on these things.
Completely off topic. But isn't that interesting how mixing is a big issue for a lot of albums that we've listened to over the years. You know, it hasn't been the recording, hasn't been, you know, the musicianship, hasn't been, you know, the way things have been recorded, but the amount of effort and changes that they've had in mixing of albums, John and Simon, over the years on albums has been amazing. So it just goes to show, Simon, how important mixing is, and also how very subjective it is when you've got 3 or 4 guys come in and mixing the same album.
No, I think that's, I know that, that it's clearly become increasingly important, because as we've talked about, late 50s, early 60s stuff is basically you're just playing and they're recording it, and there's no post-production.
No.
That they're doing afterwards. You might do a bit of bouncing down, but if you only had 4 tracks, but there's very little actual kind of, but I think as you get into the 70s, people start looking for hits. They'll hear a mix and they'll go back and I know this happens a lot now. Is, can you make the vocals a bit louder, a bit quieter? Can you make the keyboards a bit louder? Whatever it is.
Sure.
And, and they go back and they just remix it. So in effect, a record company has, quite a lot of mixes to choose from, if they're choosing the sort of hit record to have, to release. So I think, that with the technology, clearly now, when you're doing mixing, you're saying, is that the right guitar sound? Do I need to reamp it? Do I need to auto-tune this? Melodyne that, whatever. So I think it's now it's an art.
It's not just a question of levels.
No, that's right. But and we know like people like Bob Clearmountain and stuff. Were mixers in the 80s. Yeah, that's what their job was. They mixed albums.
Yeah.
After it all been recorded, Bruce Springsteen albums would all get whizzed off to Bob Clearmountain, and he would mix them. And send it back.
Right.
Separate job, separate job,
So does Bruce? So you guys are Bruce experts. So they send them off to this guy. He mixes them. Does Bruce get the final say, or does this mixer get the final say? And that's
no. Bruce gets the final say.
Okay,
yeah. But the idea of mixing is finding something. So mixing for music is what focus is for cinema. You need to have. You obviously want the right parts of the instrumentation to pop and to be prominent. And also the other thing too is you can have certain instruments that cover very similar parts of the frequency spectrum. You don't want them to muffle over each other. So the idea is you want to do something also that's sort of can sound just as good on a little single speaker, tiny battery operated transistor radio as it does on a boombox, as it does in a stereo system at home, as it does in the car, as it does, in a movie theater. So the idea is having a balance between all the elements so that they're clear, they're not muffling over each other, and that can exist in a wide spectrum of reproductive devices.
Sure.
And that you might have something that sounds great on the studio monitors, and then you take the cassette out to the car and you can't hear any of the bass or
whatever,
whichever. And so yeah, look, there's in some cases it can be subtle, in some cases it can be quite dramatic, the difference a good or a bad mix can make. And obviously something like the album that we've been discussing has you're not going to mix the 10-piece E Street Band the same way that you mix the 3-piece Police, for example, or a power trio. So there's different tricks to it that way.
Oh, 100%. I remember reading somewhere recently that one of the reasons why the wall of sound was, so important for Phil Spector and the bands and the record companies that he was working for is that it came across, it transferred really, really well through transistor radios, and like Motown as well, the way that Barry Gordy or Gordy, whatever his name was, Barry Gordy, he was producing a lot of those songs, to come through transistors and as you said, John, car stereos, because that was the big deal. Yeah.
Where people listen to.
Yeah.
Back in the 60s and 70s, where the car stereos weren't the subwoofered, reinforced things that what we have today. You're lucky you might have a little speaker over the dashboard.
Speak to yourself.
Oh.
Well,
the Alpine.
And also, too, that what were all the hits being played on in the 70s? AM radio.
Correct.
So it wasn't stereo.
We all had bass bins in the back, John. Come on, what were you doing on those odds, for goodness sake? We upgrading the stereos was quite the thing in the UK in the 70s. One of the things you could do to your car.
I suppose.
Yeah, put a bass bin in the back and kind of dung.
So did I, Helene. I had an Alpine too. Cost me an arm and a leg.
There we are, you see.
And now everything's getting remixed for streaming channels, because where's everybody listening to the music on their happy iPods,
completely.
AirPods, whatever.
Stream
speaker on their phone.
Spotify have come out with a new frequency called lossless or something like that.
Quality, it's greater quality.
Yeah. Good points. All right, boys. I've got to go. It's been tremendous.
Do you mind if I do a quick shout out?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, please do.
So, a shout out to the guys that are on. Johnny Heartbreaker.
Thank you, Johnny.
Johnny. And Arvin. And who else we had? Ben Tom as well. Ben, I hope you're good. Hope we've sent you to sleep. And Helene O'Hara, thank you very much for the donation, Helene. That's very kind of you. Ben Tom. And also, shout out to Carlos Figueroa, who's bought himself a beautiful black EVH guitar for himself for Christmas. It's a beautiful thing. So congratulations to him. Sent me a picture of it yesterday.
Thanks, Carlos.
Fantastic. So these are on the up. Brooks Reed, nice to see you, Brooks. Thanks for dropping by. Ben Tom, I think that's everybody who left a comment. So thank you very much all. Have a lovely Christmas. Thank you for your support this year. So really appreciate it. And
is there a show next week?
No, we're not doing anything next week. We're going to take a summer break. Going to take a couple of weeks off. We're not doing any ranking of the tracks for 3 weeks, but we might, depending on what's happening, we might jump on and just do shows like this. Might do a couple of these kind of impromptu shows. Nothing heavy.
Worries.
Nothing heavy. God bless everybody. We're out of here.
Yeah. Take care.
Right.
Take care, guys.
Rock and roll.
All in the
See
chat.
ya.
Whoever watches
Bye.
the replay, Merry Christmas.
And the takeaway for this show is, while we were talking about Christmas films, if you haven't listened to Bat Out of Hell recently, go and check that out.
That's it.
We went from here
That's exactly
to there. Bat Out
See
of
ya,
Hell.
mate.
See you guys later.
Take care.